up, guys? We're going into Friday, man. At least today with just 5 games, it felt like, oh, that smells good. Doesn't it? You can tell. And we're gonna give it a shot. I've been meaning to try these protein shakes. My mom's like a TikTok influencer. It's weird. And every day outside her door, there's like, no joke, between 10 and 20 packages of just the most random stuff. But it'd be like stuff of value. And it's usually like girly stuff, decorations, lights. But sometimes she gets like weight sets and like a couple weeks ago they sent her a whole thing of C4 Energy, like a 12 pack. She's like, I make this video, but you can have them. I like, bet. And then she also gave me this box of protein powder or protein shake from a company I never heard of. I don't even see the name. And I just came back from inside and I was like, you know what? I can make one. But usually I don't do it with water. So maybe, I don't know. What are we doing? What up, Po Jen? What up, G Money, the Don, Squeak, Diesel, RC Player? Y'all like that music? Yeah, some of these beats actually go crazy. Yo, chat, let me know. There comes a time in the night when it's late while we're streaming, and maybe I just don't talk as loud. But I had a couple people the other day say that sometimes the music was louder than me. So like, let me know if it don't sound right. I won't be offended. Like C4 Energy and the explosion. Hate it in Fortnite, bro. It makes no sense. All right, let's see if I'm gonna take more than one sip of this. Vanilla cream. That is awful. That's actually not great. Did I put too much? One packet with 8 ounces of water, cold water. Add additional liquid to reach your desire. That's 8 ounces, right? I don't like it. Oh, shoot. It's all over me. All right, that probably looked weird. I'm glad the camera cut off. Oh my God, there's some dripping white liquid going down my chest right now. This is great. Hey guys, this stream's brought to you by MLBGrind.com. Throughout this stream, I'm going to be referencing the MLB Grind Premium spreadsheet. That is my worksheet for each night or each day slate of action. You guys want to get it? It's a good way to support the stream, support the site. Go to MLBGrind.com, click premium memberships. I think, yeah. And then there's a week pass, month pass, and a year pass. And then once you do upgrade, click the members portal. And this will open up with a Discord link and a spreadsheet link. What up, Rob? Rob's in there. Yesterday was, or today, wherever you're watching this, the Thursday slates, it's kind of a day off, a recharge. Wednesday was a long real life day for me. And I was like, man, if I go live last night, I'm gonna be a zombie, and this slate's all scattered anyway. So we just kind of skipped it. And I had intentions to go live earlier, but I didn't want to impede on anyone else. So here we are now, back at it. Hopefully you guys, if you played tonight or today, hopefully you did well. If you didn't, cool. We'll get them tomorrow or today, Friday, April 4th. There's a lot of games, and there's a decent sized amount of games in the early and a decent in the late. DraftKings is giving you 2 very playable full slates FanDuel be doing their own thing. The very early only, the main. I don't know. It doesn't get better. All right, well, I don't want to tell my mom this, but this crap sucks. Let's see, what's the logo on this? 310, 310. I don't know. Maybe it was just a vanilla cream, but that is not great. At least taste-wise, I don't know what's in it. Not one big slate. Not really, kinda, sorta. So like this is your early slate on DraftKings, which it's plenty of games. Don't get me wrong. FanDuel just they get weird. They split what could be a good slate into two nasty looking slates. I gotta get this out of my mouth. God dang, bro, that taste is not it. Dude, she was like, you should make a video for me for it. I'm glad I didn't. My face on the taste test would have been horrendous. Maybe it's just the water. Maybe I gotta mix it with like milk or something, but I don't like milk. Always go chocolate. There is a chocolate in here. Maybe I'll let them get another chance. They threw a chocolate. They threw a chocolate bliss, a lemon cake, tropical coconut, and then a bunch of, I don't know what this is. Hydrate, superior hydration simplify. I don't know what the heck this is. A variety box. It's like crap you mix into water. Calories, no sugar. Does it have caffeine? I don't know. Maybe this will taste better. I drink a lot of water, but I just wanted something with a little flavor right now. I was like, let me try one of these. I'll try the try. I'll give them all a try. I will. But yeah. Vanilla is always bad for protein. That's good to know. I do always get the chocolate for protein. Now that I think about it. This giant whey protein thing in the top of my fridge. Opening day in the D is absolutely bonkers. In the D. So the D's nuts joke? What is the D? In the D. The Dallas? The D. The D. I'm trying to think who's opening day now. The Rockies, the Angels. I don't know. No ghost iron drink powder. Like I think there is. But I think the carbonation for the ghost is like half the goodness. I don't know. I'll play around with it. I'll get back into my grind. But I usually just get the protein after a workout, and I go crazy with caffeine before. Jesus. Too much. That's where the C4 really... Oh, Detroit. The D? Okay. No, Detroit's already had. Unless you were at opening day. Or no, I'm tripping. Maybe Detroit hasn't. Detroit was... What, the D-backs and the Dodgers? Okay. All right. Cardinals and the Red Sox, first game on this docket. Actually, is that the game I didn't write down? It is. Yeah, Tigers hosting the White Sox for that one. Flaherty versus Cannon. I mean, I don't know. Is somebody trying to play the FanDuel early only? I guess I can look at it for y'all. The D. Going through the big D. Don't mean Dallas. I can't believe. Yeah, we'll type it up real quick. These beats are kind of so much better. I do get... I've been getting copyright flagged, not struck, for all these beats. But until the channel's monetized, I really don't care. It's like as long as I don't get actual reprimandation, I'll take the good beats. That's why I do a lot of Twitch streams for other stuff. I like playing music. But YouTube has rules. Jonathan Cannon throwing the slab for the White Sox. The Tigers 2-4. Kinstry. I think I put the K where there's supposed to be an H. Riley Green. Isn't there a singer named Riley Green? There it is. Dude, he's got some bops. Except that Worst Way, dude. If they canceled Baby Don't Go, the Christmas song, or Baby It's Cold Outside, they canceled that song. But Riley Green's Worst Way is like just a bop. I feel like we're picking and choosing. Don't get me wrong. I kind of like both songs. What am I doing wrong? Well, it's got like the same vibes to it, you know? Maybe not. I don't know. One girl's trying to leave. He's just saying that you can come, but you're not leaving. I don't know. Jack Flaherty, 5.2 innings on the season, 12% swing and strike rate, 23% K rate. After that first appearance, less than what it was last year at 30%. But the swing and strike rate is right there where it was. The whip is pristine. Expected ERA looks like he was a little bit on the lucky side. And that's probably just, I don't know. He has some elevated hard contact. I said I just high line drive rate, and he gave up 3 bombs. So kind of expect a positive regression here. This is 2 teams that are just, I mean, I didn't know. Hey man, I hope you have fun at the opening day. But if I got tickets to this game on my birthday card, I might feel some type of way. I don't know. Hey, Jonathan Cannon, 5 innings in his first start, 20% called strike, 9.4% swing and strike rate, 25% strikeout rate. So the strikeout rate probably has a room for regression, as his swing and strike rate is sub 10%, and he got extra called strikes, so people weren't swinging the bat on him. So I probably do expect that to dip back to the sub 20%. It is the Tigers. They strike out a lot. It's the White Sox. They strike out a lot. Neither team scores a lot. It's Comerica, sub 100, or 2% below average in overall offensive factor the last couple of years, and not many home runs to speak of. Not a game that's on the main DraftKings slate and 2 of the 3 Fanduel slates, so can't really see wanting too much of this. I guess if we get there, we'd have to put Jack Flaherty at the top. And I don't really have I don't really love Jonathan Cannon, just individual metrics, but the Tigers matchup is amongst the best that you're going to get. So I guess I'll put him in the list here, but I don't have high expectations. Only on small slate. I don't know. And then I wouldn't be interested in either offense. Just kind of cherry picking potential bombs. Looking at Flaherty's weaknesses last 3 years, does allow the homers to lefties. This is a park that doesn't do much for home runs, 5% below average in power to lefties, 10% below average in power to righties. Benintendi's had a couple of surprising pops to start the season, but not much to love like in this one. It'd just be Flaherty if I gotta get there. What's up, Jazzy? Hope you're doing all right. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you being in chat. If you guys are out there lurking, and I'm just being blabbing, and you just are shy, drop a yer, man. Let me know you're in there. Look, meeting new buddies in this group. That's your first home game? Okay. Yo, I mean, so maybe opening day is a little bit different, RC, but those feel like some games that you could buy bleacher tickets and work your way down halfway through the game, if you know what I mean. So, Alex, how accurate is this chart with predictions? This is not really a prediction chart. This is an expeditious way to display stats that I appreciate and rely on. So, all these stats are... These aren't predictions. These are reactive. So what you're seeing on the index portal is the projected hitter and their spot in the lineup and their splits versus the opposing pitcher's handedness. And a lot of people don't operate on splits. I do. It's just kind of what I do. So these are split from the beginning of last year. So for instance, Brendan Donovan, 280 average against righties since the beginning of last year, 150 ISO, 787 OPS, 13% K rate, 7.6% walk rate, and he's 23% above average in WRC plus. So if you're not none of these are predictive. They just show that they've been good. The only predictive metrics on the index portal, I guess, would be like the expected ERA and maybe the Sierra. Everything else is just kind of stats that you absorb and kind of go with. And I think the batted ball data, like line drive, ground ball, fly ball, hard contact, all that is also kind of predictive. For instance, if I'm looking at, we just looked at Cannon. We see the reactive metrics, the 0 ERA, the 25% K rate, and then we can kind of look at that K rate from just the 5 innings and look back to his body of work last year. Similar swinging strike rate, and he got a little lucky on the called strike. So expect regression on the strikeouts. It may not come today against the Tigers, but just stuff like that. So it's not really a prediction chart. It's more of a study aid if you are cracking the book open on the slates. We do have a prediction model, like for home runs. It's not really a home run predictor, but it's we call it the bomb detector. This analyzes the batted ball data split wise from pitcher and hitter to kind of identify whose batted ball profile might match up the best here. It considers the fly ball rate, hard contact rate, barrel rate. It does have a tax for the strikeout rate between the pitcher and the hitter, and then it does also weigh the park. I was thinking today, I think I'm gonna add a small tweak to the index portal and have a weather grade, a numeric weather grade, and I was thinking it should be -1, 0, 1, or 2, and then it'll pick that up, and then we'll spit out that projection chart that is coming. This projection chart we've been working on. So we do have some stuff that is meant to be predictive, but this chart isn't. Looks like a Chevelle song game. Actually caught a piece of it. What's up, Travis? Hope you're doing all right. Hope all is well. Hey man, hope all is well. Cannon, Rocky starting pitcher, Eric, dude. I was saying in the premium Discord earlier, so I gotta create a flow chart for the Phillies. Do the Phillies have a matchup that looks juicy and you want to stack them? If yes, fade them, because god dang, bro, they've been burning me every day this season, man. I don't love it. An injury grade? No, but that's for pitchers. Pitchers are kind of different from the hitters and what we're absorbing here. Obviously with pitchers, anyone coming back from Tommy John, it's not going to be 1-to-1 more than likely from when they left, but they're also not going to have sample size essentially for a year, and then their stuff is just handmade. So Eric Fetty Wop taking on Walker Buehler. We've got Fetty throwing his second game. A lot of game twos for most of these pitchers. Trying to get some run totals here. Cardinals. They even played Ivan Herrera the other day. Got you 3 of them. Let me see if I can get some run totals off of here. Let's go game lines. There we go. Looks like a 9 run total here. But Cardinals is with the Red Sox is a favorite, -135. Fenway opening day. What a weird road trip for the Red Sox to start the season. The Rangers, and then going into Baltimore, where some pitching looked better for them. Walker Buehler would be a pitcher they would love to look better, especially if he looked anything close to his height a couple years ago with the Dodgers in game 1 for Walker Buehler. 4.1 innings, a 12% barrel rate, not what you want. 14% K rate, 162 whip. So kind of picking up where he left off, and a lot of the metrics that matter and that scare you, and those metrics in Fenway in such a offensive friendly park kind of take him out of my early consideration, especially against a Cardinals team that sometimes just gets lost in the shuffle of main slate targets because they play in Busch Stadium and it's a pretty lopsided pitcher's park. This is a great chance to grab a team like that, a team that plays their home games in a pitcher's park, and put them in a place where offense can get you or can get boosted here. This is a good spot for the Cardinals to pick on Walker Buehler's weaknesses so far. So I'm gonna go right on ahead, jump in on the Cardinals, and then while I'm here, I'm gonna type the Red Sox because I know this is gonna be an offense only game for me. Eric Fetty, last game out, 8% swing and strike rate, 10% overall K rate. That 8% swing and strike rate is in line with what we saw last season and almost 180 innings of sample. And we know Fetty from years prior, not a guy that's going to miss a lot of bats here. So again, you're gonna dare a team that has struggled to make contact. Guy like Rafael Devers, maybe get off the schneid. He got his first knock in the Baltimore game, and then we even seen signs of life out of Trevor Story. So this is a good spot for the Red Sox to maybe come home and start getting things going. So both teams absolutely in the stack blender here. I don't see myself pitching either team, even if Walker Buehler was back to being, a 24-25% K pitcher. Like even if that was the Walker Buehler that the Red Sox got, this is not a high strikeout lineup in the projected Cardinals lineup. So just a rough spot for me to get behind either pitcher. I don't play Eric Fetty, I don't. But Walker Buehler, maybe there's going to be a time this season where I just get tempted to click the name Walker Buehler because he's Walker Buehler, but it's not going to be here. So let's go Cardinals or Red Sox, and I'll wait on adding the implied run total, but that's absolutely going to be a game I target for offense. KBO legend. Any average to below average pitcher in America goes to the KBO, and they're literally Roger Clemens, Nolan Ryan, Clayton Kershaw. I kid you not, Dan Straley was just like somebody I picked on for homers, and he went over there and was like untouchable. So I can see Eric Fetty doing the same. I think he went over there and like spam change-ups, but I don't know. Sign Todd Helton to a one-day contract. Please, maybe don't. Let's move on rapidly. Padres and the Cubs. Randy Vasquez taking on Shota Imanaga. This is the battle of some NL teams. The Cubs have looked really good offensively in their little West Coast trip, especially against the Athletics. Now they take Randy Vasquez, and he's probably the most hittable guy that the Padres might be spinning right now. And the Padres, as a win-loss team, have looked pretty good in a stacked division. So if the Cubs are going to take one, it'll be this one. So this is immediately a spot where I'm interested in the Cubbies, and then the Padres and Imanaga is going to be, might be a little bit of both, but I think it might be a little bit of both. Man, I'll tell you what, the Padres aren't as stacked in WRC plus against lefties as I kind of thought they would be. Is that can't be right. That can't be right. Right? That can't be right. Let me see something. Hitter versus lefties. It's 24-25. Control F. Yuli Correa. What? How do you have a 1 WRC plus? Huh? That's right. Okay. I mean, that's incredible. I'm not even mad. He must not have any at bats. It must be like less than 5. 7 at-bats against lefties this season, a 0 average, a strikeout, a walk. Last season, 21 at-bats, 95 average, 7 Ks. I mean, this is an extremely small sample, and you go to years prior, it gets a little bit better, but it's just kind of fun with numbers, anomalaic, to say the least. A 1 WRC plus against lefties since the beginning of last year for Yuli Gurriel. All right, hey man. Let's see if I can pull up any type of early look at weather potentially in Wrigley. If you guys are new to baseball DFS, most every site still has like today's games, so keep an eye on that. Make it a habit if you're new to baseball DFS. Anytime Chicago's on the slate, just kind of keep an eye on the wind. A lot of times it's nothing, but just something to be part of the process. I'll look back later when some more charts are up. So with that said, I actually think I will introduce some Imanaga, but not a lot. Small servings. And I might come back and take him out, but he does have some hopeful metrics, like the 15% swing and strike rate, the no barrels so far this season. Want to see the K rate come up, but that's likely to come up because of the swing and strike rate being what it is. The fly ball rate and hard contact rate's pretty alarming. The xFIP's pretty alarming. So there's a chance once I sweep through the rest of the pitchers here, I come back and erase them. But so far in the thought of the early slate only, it's not like super standout pitching, you know? Wait, oh. That's not confusing at all. We got 2 Luis Castillos. That's going to be fun to mess with. Jesus H. Wins out to 15. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's put keep an eye on win projections. Actually, a great factor would just be looking at the over-under here, right? They got it at 7. So if the wind is, or you just mean in general, if the wind is out at 15, yeah, okay. I don't think wind is out at 15 right now. Like if you're looking at like a 11 p.m. midnight radar, it might be now, but the total wouldn't be 7 if it's projected to be out. If it is, y'all better get to smashing that and the little vig on the under. So I'll just leave that there. That's why I'm playing Eric. Dude. That dude. Look. He looked like a machine, bro. That dude was swole. So, y'all remember Eric Dames? Former Brewers great. This guy. I know that's not him. Is that him? That ain't him. No shot. Yo, Eric Dames is literally Tyrone, dude. This dude was... Yeah. That dude was a legend, though. Freaking legend. All right, moving on from that game. Mets hosting the Blue Jays. Kevin Gausman taking on Tyler McGill. Gausman, first game, 6 innings strong. I don't say strong, 6 innings. A 17.6% barrel rate, 18% K rate, and a 4.2 expected ERA. Saw an increase in hard contact to righties slightly based on his numbers last year, but overall the last 3 years against righties, extremely high hard contact rates, and the ground balls haven't been there for him thus far. Now this is just 6 innings of sample size, so you kind of expect these numbers to normalize a little bit more, regress to the previous mean, but Gausman's overall metrics, even his predictive metrics, not quite what they used to be, much like the 3.9 xFIP from last year against righties and the 4.52 against lefties. So you kind of want to see those numbers be a little lower to be super happy with them. But looking at this slate, kind of like today, none of these pitchers are just like shove them and go. some you just got to take some bad with the good and hope for positive numbers. And I think that's kind of just going to be the story of the slate. So is Gossman one of those guys you can throw in the blender and maybe get a shot at 15-20 fantasy points? That's kind of what I would hope for out of my pitching spots on this particular slate. And against this Mets team, we've certainly seen a wide range of outcomes for them, especially down there in Miami. This projected lineup does have some strikeouts in it, and to Gossman's credit, he still maintained a double-digit swing and strike rate. So it's not a fun click, but it's a click nonetheless. It might be a four corners kind of situation. The Blue Jays and Mets have a 7.5 over/under, kind of a coin flip there. So kind of a low total on both sides. So I think we could introduce Gossman, but the question is right now, do we put Gossman below or above Tyler Megill, who looked really sharp in his first game, 31% K rate. Last year he had a 27% overall K rate, and last season we saw the 29% K rate to lefties, 25% to righties. There's a lot to kind of like about him as an individual player with those type of K numbers, but this Blue Jays lineup, not a lineup that comes in swings and misses a ton. So kind of an unstoppable force, immovable object. What gives when it comes to those K rates? So I'm gonna go Gossman, then Megill, then if Megill isn't striking you out, he has shown propensity to give up homers. Last year, $1.25 on homers to, or excuse me, 1.16 homer per 9 to righties. The year prior, $1.25. So it might be some Substack potential here. Jays Substack, Mets Substack, and the Mets stack kind of writes itself, right? Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo, even those four, you almost don't really care who the opposing pitcher is. Those are just high talented guys. Gossman doesn't bleed homers to lefties, at least not last year. This year he did, but the year prior he gave us some bombs to lefties. So yeah, that's your chip in the chairs. I'm going pitching over offense here, but it's not fun. It's not pretty. It's not comfortable. Where's the Soto guy? That's funny. 798 Woba, 333 ISO with 0 Ks against Gossman, 11 at bat, small sample. RC. You did not just come up in here celebrating the Tigers opening day and then throw me some BVP. What are we doing? It's Juan Soto. And it'd be those type of pulls too. It'd be like, yeah, Mike Trout is 2 for 8, bro. It's Mike Trout. Or it's Juan Soto. It's like, you don't need. Don't get me started, bro. You trolling. Weather looks kind of shady with cloudy weather. 50 for tomorrow's game. Detroit Tigers opening home game. Yeah, well, the game shouldn't matter for us for the most part. It's like I like Aaron Judge today because he's got good numbers in 6 at bats against his opponent. So that's why I'm going to play Aaron Judge. Rockies hosting the Athletics. This is your debut of Coors Field. And it looks like there might be some weather in this one. But welcome to Colorado and welcome to Coors Field if you are new to MLB DFS. There are going to be some long nights later on in the summer when rainstorms pop up and the Rockies are playing 1 a.m. baseball and you're dead asleep thinking you won money, and then the 9th inning went crazy or something stupid. This game is a day game and it's not on the real main slate, but that's that's right off the rip, so keep an eye on weather. I'll put actually we got a little, I'm gonna put a yellow here, just see what it is. I'm not gonna do too much weather research the night before, but that's certainly something to keep an eye on. The Athletics throwing Osvaldo Bido, taking on Ryan Feltner. Both pitchers on paper, meh, right? Sierra for Bido, the last 3 seasons, 4.63, 4.23, and 6 and 5 innings so far. Not a big strikeout guy, but he does have a double-digit swing and strike rate since the beginning of last year, and he did strike out almost 1 in 4 last season. So maybe I'm disrespecting him in that regard. And the Rockies suck, so we'll keep an eye on that. The Rockies are 4 in the 4Ks on DraftKings. That's just incredible. Back in my day, it was 5K plus no matter what. That's how bad this team is. Not a single person on this roster with a positive WRC plus since the beginning of last year. That's just downright incredible. I think we had a whole speech about that against Zach Wheeler, and man, am I talking myself into Osvaldo Bido in the first quarter slate, assuming weather is there. Let's go look at the game log. Let's go look at plate discipline. 12% swing and strike rate, almost a 60% first pitch rate. We want that a little bit higher. Any batted ball data to speak of? He had a 7.12 xFIP. That's a problem. And extremely high fly ball rate with no infield flies. So 58% fly ball rate. All right. Well, it's the Rockies. If weather permitted, I'd be somewhat interested in his swing and strike rate living against the Rockies. What kind of pitches does Bido have? Is he super breaking ball dependent? Fastball, slider, cutter, changeup. So no curveball. Cutter. Yeah, these pitches get haunt. He's got plus numbers on all these pitches. Yeah, Bido might be interesting. Man, it's just so hard to type. He threw 81 pitches, saw 22 batters. Again, super lucky. Fly ball's not necessarily the worst thing at Coors. Coors is a very large outfield. I'm doing it. F it did. The Rockies are so bad that Osvaldo Bido at 6,600 looks like he could not be a terrible play. But we in here. Feltner on the bump for the Rockies. 14% barrel rate in that first game. 12% swing and strike rate. Struck out 1 in 4, a 1 whip. Going back to last year, just inning eater, Rocky stuff. 4.3 expected ERA. 20% K rate. Nothing great, nothing horrendous. The Athletics have a couple of guys I would certainly be interested in to pick on some of these splits. Brent Rooker looks like a fun click against a lower strikeout guy, I should say. 21% K strikeout to righties last year. And if you can neutralize Rooker's big K rate, 30%, you could tap into that 260 ISO, that 900 OPS, 161 WRC plus. So Athletics makes sense. And I'll probably go full athletic stack, assuming weather permits. I imagine it's going to be somewhat cold. So I'm not going to get too... Dude, it might snow. Is that what I'm looking at? Results for Coors Field, Colorado. 39 degrees is your high tomorrow. A low of 27. And Saturday looks better. So if they do get into a rainout situation, you might see a doubleheader on Saturday. I would rather play on Saturday than Friday. We'll see if they make that decision. But like I said, sometimes in the daytime, you just wait it out. But if it's snow and cold, we have seen like the first game of a season and a home opener be something they're more likely to swap up. So I'm just speculating night before stuff. I don't have any reason to expect that, but it could happen. Keep an eye on that. What's up, Kid Kobe? I appreciate you. What up, Dave? Hate not having Roth reports. Oh yeah, that's right. I think I saw that it was on paywall. It's not that hard to get weather though. Next game, Mariners at the Giants. All right, this is about to get weird. So the Mariners have a great pitcher named Luis Castillo. Well, tomorrow they're pitching another pitcher named Luis Castillo. But this is Luis F. Castillo. not the ace. So all these numbers I gotta X out because they're gonna misrepresent the whole thing. Dude, it's one thing. There's multiple guys in this league with the same name, same effing team, same position. It's like they got together to torment us spreadsheet nerds. All right, let's see what we can find out about Mr. Luis Castillo. In his career, 476.1 innings in the minors, a 1.3 WHIP, 415 Ks. So less than a K per inning on the surface stats. Let's go year by year. See if 5.2 innings this season, 72 pitches. He only had 2 strikeouts, so continuing that contact profile. 106 average. Oh, that's pretty good. In 2022, 44.2 innings, 42 Ks. This doesn't tell me a lot because there's a gap right there. So let's go pull up Luis F. Castillo at Fangraphs. Felipe. At least they got it right. They could figure that out, but they couldn't figure out Ohtani hitter and pitcher. Positive. So he was pitching in Japan the last 2 years. Is that what I'm seeing? NPB is a Japan league, I believe, right? The Nippon. Yeah. So in Japan, I would say is better offensively than the KBO. So these might transfer a little bit better. But a 706 K per 9 last year, 6.24 the year prior. Looks like he's a decent ground ball getter and medium contact, soft contact guy. He had a double-digit swing and strike rate though in Japan. So it could be a little bit of a coincidence that he didn't get a ton of strikeouts in his one appearance in the minors this season. Did he throw in spring? He did. 3 Ks in 2 innings in the first the first 2 appearances in February. 2 Ks in 3. No homers. Not entirely sure what to expect. I'll go back and look at the amount of pictures he threw. What are you doing, girl? The cat's in here. think we said 70. But all of a sudden, there it is. It won't give me that game yet, or a game again, but I don't really know what to expect out of this kid. Pitch types: sinker, slider, changeup. 3 pitches. The sinker's basically going to be his fastball, more likely, if that's. I think it's a positive sinker. So sinker is usually a design for contact pitch anyway. All right, so we did all that to kind of say that don't expect him to be here to get a bunch of strikeouts. Maybe he's here to get some innings. He's at a pitcher-friendly Oracle Park. He doesn't give him a ton of offense. Run prevention is great in the limited sample at the lower level. But there's a lot of just unknown here at the major league level, and then trying to transfer what we do know about him in Japan versus here, because we only got a couple innings from the spring training and the minors. So kind of just going on a hunch and going on the unknown. And maybe the unknown makes him low owned on either site. Does he steal a win at 5,500, the price of a bat, to just load up on every offense that you can get? It's possible a contact pitcher could sneak through some innings here in a plus park. So I don't know, kind of all over the place on that. I'm gonna do some reading on him and see if I can't figure out a stronger lean. I guess what I would look at is see if the Giants have anything on a pitch report for the sinker. Sometimes it lists the sinker as a fastball in here. Nah. What is our Vegas totals? Got an 8 OU, and Giants are only minus 118. I mean, Verlander on a bump against a nobody. With respect, you know what I mean? A nobody. Or no, I'm wrong. They're minus 155. They're minus 118 to go under. So minus 155. That's about right. Yeah, okay. Verlander on the other side, a 9.6% swing and strike rate in the first game. That's right on par with what we've seen from him in terms of his ability to miss bats the last 2 seasons. Great call strike numbers all going into the last 2 seasons as well. Keeps the barrel off of the bat. And then he walked away with a 22% K rate in that first game. So kind of like in the Walker Buehler, in the guys that we used to like but are kind of not that guy anymore. Except I think I like Verlander more than some of those guys lately. This Mariners team offers a ton of strikeout potential, all but one of their hitters, and that guy's at 19%, well above a 20% K rate since the beginning of last year against righties. And we're talking some guys that are like aggregate 28% if you pluck away 6 of them. So I actually do think some Verlander here makes a ton of sense in the most pitcher-friendly park probably on the slate, and at 7,500 on DraftKings. Yeah, I'm in. Do we get a shot at 20? I think it's feasible. At Cincy in the tough park, it's whatever. Gave up a lot of hits. You would like to see that to go down. 3 strikes, got strikeouts, and had a plus ground ball to fly ball ratio. So some to like, some to hate. But I think I go Verlander at the top of my interest rankings so far from this game. And I mean, if you got that feeling in your bad knee on Castillo, kind of paying off. I mean, he's 200 less than Verlander. It's kind of wild. But on Fanduel, man, if you fed him 80 plus pitches as a contact guy, kept these boys in the park with maybe a 1/8 of a strikeout implied per inning, I think at 5,500 on Fanduel, that could be an interesting go get every bat you want. But I mean, that's That's purely long shot ideology. Jesus, I said theology. Jesus, I said Jesus, theology, whatever. And then inversely, if you're grabbing some Giants, you're kind of betting on talent. It's been a good start for Heliot Ramos, and Wilmer Flores has definitely flexed some muscle. And then inversely, if you want to pick on Justin Verlander, he has not been immune to the fly ball homers. Lefties last year, 1.9 home run per nine, and then righties the last 2 years over a 1. So if you really want to get behind a power swing in Oracle, a park that holds righties to homers at 17% less than league average, you might be looking at a J-Rod, a Luke Raley. I mean, there's a couple power bats in here, but this park is rough to get one out. So Substack, sure. I'm going Verlander for now. Any pitcher 5,500, I'm going to look, if not on pitch limitations. Yeah, I think that's fair. Especially, like, it doesn't look like he's a bad pitcher. He's just not a strikeout guy, and that's kind of what we look for. But on FanDuel, if you can go through 6 clean, steal a quality start at 5,500, it could certainly just, it could set the table for some boppers. Going with your preferred book, or do you shop odds? RC, I live in Texas, so actually I legally cannot gamble on a sports book, and I would never break the law. So my preferred book is PrizePicks. Yeah, no hits or walk. What up, Chronic? Is Soto in the player pool for tomorrow? He has good BVP. What up, Ayo? What up, Tall? I didn't miss nobody. What up, J. Cole? Jermaine, Cole, Young Simba, Mr. Nice Watch. Man, this ain't even me, dog. Oh, dude, that's such a classic. This ain't even me. Oh, good. We finally get some looks at weather tomorrow. By the way, while I'm here, implied run total for the Giants 4.2. Mariners 3.5. Well, that's good. We like to see it. And then looking at Chicago. Now that I have that wind chart up, it looks like the wind might be blowing in up there. So 45 degrees with some wind in. Good for the pitchers. When you said you live in Texas, I thought you said you're a detective and it's illegal for you to gamble. Tall, could you repeat that? Right? Could you repeat that? I have protein powder all over my phone, so that looks even more illegal. What up, Pinstripe? Walker, Texas gun. Yeah, I think Texas is slowly transforming me from a big New Yorker to dude, I listen to country music now. That's when it's over, dude. Yeah, 5 years ago, country's bad. This now, Morgan Wallen's #1 on my freaking Spotify. Him and Shabuzi all day in rotation. It's just, it's raps for me, dude. I'm about 2 years from a cowboy hat and flexing how nice my grass looks. You know what I mean? D-backs taking on the Nats. Did I miss a Yankee game in the mix somewhere? I feel like I did, and I feel like I also joked about it in the Discord. So now I gotta type this up, and the bottom of the... Hey, if you guys are premium members, you're looking for the White Sox game and the Yankees game, it's gonna be at the bottom. Maybe I'll fix that later and make it more chronologically accurate. Yankees traveling to Pittsburgh. Here's a weird one. Their start time is 4:12. Can anybody tell me why? This is not some weird trivia question where I know the answer. I literally was like, what? 4:12? Like, you see the 15s. I think TBS Superstation kind of made that normal. You see the 05s. What's up with 4:12? What's that about? It seems like such an obscure number. Joey Bott. Former Yankee legend Andrew McCutchen. He might go into the Hall of Fame as a Yankee. You heard it here first. He just might wear the old Yankee cap. He might do it. The Yankees have an implied run total of 4.5. Got some of their swings back today, but the likes of Ryan Yarbrough try to give it away. Max Fried on the bump for Pittsburgh, or excuse me, on the bump against Pittsburgh. Mitch Keller on the bump for Pittsburgh. Fried, not the best start in his first game. Looking to get better, but he did look solid in spring, so I'm willing to forgive him. And this Pirates team is a team that I can pick on, especially with a good lefty. Even O'Neal Cruz, you look at his overall metrics against lefties since the beginning of last year, 30% K rate, a sub 90 WRC plus. Just Joey Bott and Ke'Bryan Hayes have a positive WRC plus, with old Cutchin being right around league average. So it's definitely a spot where Max Fried makes some sense in a pitcher's park. And I wouldn't surprise me if his leash is a little bit longer, knowing the Yankees had to dip into the pen the last 2 days, and knowing that the pen kind of sucks. So Fried could contact. He threw 94 pitches in that 4.2 against Milwaukee. And we're looking at, especially with Fanduel in mind, I think he's probably the most likely, if he's out of trouble, to kind of bank on 6 strong for a quality start, just based on pitch count and what the team needs out of him. So Max Fried, top of the interest rankings, especially in this game. Mitch Keller, you did your thing, dog, but it's going to be a no for me. Just not a high strikeout guy. 17% K rate in that first game, 21.5% last year. Average metrics to where you could get away with him in like certain spots. I think, Tigers, Rockies, teams like that. I guess you could make a case Yankees do strike out. Maybe the travel back to back, you get a funkier version of the lineup. But I know guys like Judge take pride in playing every day, so you probably don't get it without that. And I think Goldie, there's a couple of these guys that had the day off yesterday, so it should be a full bore Yankees lineup as they try to bounce back and take a series. Jazz Chisholm, I think he's a guy that is likely to have some pretty obscene road home splits this season when it comes to power. So if you guys are just clicking game logs, you see all this action at Jazz. I pull it back a little bit on the road. What even is English tonight? I'm just slurring speech. Am I drunk? What's in this protein shake? And another thing. So in some spots on the road when you're like, man, this is a great spot for Jazz. And don't get me wrong, it's a great spot for Jazz. But if he turns into a guy that's a little bit more average on the road, don't be surprised. But yeah, Yankees offense certainly a little bit more intriguing to me here. Pittsburgh's probably cold, 58 degrees, but that's about what the Yankees have been playing in the Bronx anyway. So give me Fried, give me the Yankees. Against Fried, if I wanted to pick on somebody, just because he can be somebody that pitches to contact, a guy like O'Neal Cruz or Tommy Pham, if they put the ball in play and they get on base. We've seen the Pirates be very aggressive with base running when they are on, so you might steal some stolen bases and rack up some points that way. I think I'm just going to leave it at Fried and the Yankees for that first analysis, though. Yep. Jack Sawinski season. Yeah, Jazz is raking, but maybe some porch jobs. Gun and Terry is going to be 12-hour stream for 4 games. Yeah. You bought a cowboy hat? and thinking about landscaping. Yo, Chronic, I don't know what it is, bro. You live in Texas. It's gonna get you eventually. The other thing, Chronic, dude, this stuff is stained. I'm about to wash my hoodie tonight. Down here, man, the trash cans to the road. I don't know if you're in an area where they do that. They do it down here, and I barely figured out what day of the week the trash goes out, but I literally just do it by looking down the street the night before. You ever want to play a prank on your Texas neighbors? Put the recycling bin on the street when it's not supposed to. And you just see who all does it. It's like, wait, does he know something I don't? Because that's literally my gauge for, am I supposed to put the on the street? I've since learned it's Thursdays here, but the recycling can is not every Thursday. So I don't know. Wow, you got 2 a week? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. We got 1 a week down here. I used to have 2, but we only got 1. But I do have 2 trash cans, so actually I have 3. And I hardly ever use them. All right, let's move to the main slate. D-backs and the Nationals. D-backs getting out of the Bronx with a series dub under their belt. Nats leaving Philly. Brandon Pfaadt taking on Jake Irvin. D-backs have an implied run total of 4.7. Nats just a 4. Brandon got a fat contract extension last week, and maybe he starts paying it off. 20% K rate in that first 6 innings of work. 10% swing and strike rate. The expected ERA, not what you want. This Nationals offense, typically one I'm not too afraid of. What did I do? But it is one that can play a little bit more scrappy when it comes to getting strikeouts. So off the rip, I'm not like super excited to pitch him against the Nationals. But I understand that we might have to get there looking at the rest of this slate. Yeah, might have to get there. Make an uncomfortable click. So against Jake Irvin. Irvin, super contact guy. Less than a 10% aggregate swing and strike rate the last 3 seasons. Hardly got any strikeouts in game 1 with a 9% K rate. But the expected ERA has been super red for years. Last year, a 1.61 home run per 9 to lefties. That's been a trend for 3 years now, and he gave up some bombs to lefties in that first appearance. So who has power and bats lefty from the D-back side? Maybe you can get into some Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll. Josh Naylor hit a bomb, I believe, yesterday. He's the guy that kind of intrigues me here. And then if you can get through Jake Irvin and into the bullpen, you can chip in a chair a guy like Eugenio Suarez, who has been mashing this season. You got to get around his high K rate. But there's certainly some interest in the D-backs overall. So I'm actually going to list D-backs as a stack. I'm going to put a little Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Let me see what that. He went 78 pitches against Chicago. Faced 25 batters. Sheesh. Don't give up 6 hits here, dude. If I want to pick on him, probably gonna be a lefty. An aggregate 288, 290 average just beginning or for the last 2 years, 3 years against lefties, and gives up power against lefties. So James Wood so far has shown some high power, high K rate ability, and Brandon might neutralize the high K rate. Nate Lowe we saw a pop from, but I don't usually look at him as a power swinger. CJ Abrams, a little bit of pop in that bat. So a couple of those guys. I'd probably be talking to a Substack, but I'm not in love with it. I'm not married to it. So let's go. That's Substack. Lefties specifically. 208. Yeah, that's just crazy. Chronic and them, they just throwing everything out. Our recycling is every other week. I never know what week it is. Same, dude. Like it might be every other week. I thought it was once a month, but every other week makes more sense. Because I got a lot of gallons of water. Misfit Green Hell game. With it. Implied run total for the... Oh, I already did that one. Okay. All right, we can matriculate on to the next one. Marlins taking on the Braves. Max Meyer, Spencer Schwellenbach. Australian for beer. It's a different brand. Whatever. We need a pitcher named Foster. The Braves are a minus. Is that right? Before I say that out loud, the Atlanta Braves in the year 2025, our Lord and Savior, right now, a minus 238 favorite. The Braves have not won a game yet. If you're wondering why I think that's kind of crazy. The 0-7 Braves are minus 238 favorites. What's that say about you, Mr. Max? In your 30% K rate in the first game, that is kind of crazy. 10% swinging strike rate since the beginning of last year for him. What? That's kind of wild, dude. That's just kind of wild. The Marlins do kind of stink at baseball overall. If you look at their metrics, this particular lineup, since the beginning of last year, have 2+ players in WRC plus against right-handed pitching. That's Jonah Bride, Xavier Edwards. So it makes sense why the Braves are favorited, but it's just kind of funny to see. Braves just a 4.6 run total. That's a minus 230 favorite. It's just, wow. We like to have fun here. I have a whole soundboard set up, chat. It's not for this stream. I do Fortnite stuff and I troll randoms. And on my soundboard, I have the smoke detector beep. I love jumping into just like random parties and hitting that button, driving people subconsciously crazy, and then blaming them for it. It's great. It's great. So let's start with Spencer Schwellenbach. Who threw 90 pitches in 6 innings against the Padres. Padres better than the Marlins. Didn't get a bunch of strikeouts, but the swinging strike rate is encouraging to me, so that he would be the top tier click here, and he's top priced over there on Fanduel. So kind of looking at him for a implied quality start. I would imagine he's probably at like 18.1, 18.2 outs. Already. Outs recorded. Schwellenbach. He's at 18.5. I keep saying 0.2. I'm used to innings being 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. 18.5. So he's essentially, although the vig is on the under, whatever, dude. Whatever. It just means go 6 and leave. Fine. Heavily implied for a quality start there on Fanduel, especially since the Marlins team total is 3. Good spot for him. If you want to pick on Max Meyer, had a lefty home run problem last year. Maybe a spot for Matt Olson, Michael Harris. It's hard to get excited about this offense, but you do kind of feel like it's a sleeping beast eventually. But also you feel like they're missing, no Cunha, no Profar. It kind of makes sense. I'm gonna go Brave Substack. And not interested in the Marlins. Not even if there's a fire. That is looking like after Sherman ran through it, circa Jesus. Sherman, 1862. Is that a hurricane reference? Is that almost a 200-year-old hurricane reference? That could be the nerdiest thing I've ever heard in my life. Bro, it looks... Wow. I'm so glad I stopped what I was just about to say. Jesus. That would have been the end. You just checked her. Oh, Sherman. Okay. I thought it was a hurricane reference. I mean, that's not much better. I guess it's probably more likely to find a Civil War documentary on the History Channel about whatever you just referenced than a hurricane from back then. Documentary. I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Orioles at the... I need sleep. Sorry. Orioles at the Royals. 4.3 run total for the O's. The Royals sitting at 4.4. Dean Creamer taking on Seth Lugo. Creamer 12% swinging strike rate in that game against the Blue Jays, I think. Yeah. 6 strikeouts, 81 pitches, faced 23 batters, 5 earnings. Not what you want. But had a 2.98 expected ERA and a 3.48 SIERA. So it looks like you got a little bit unlucky. Crazy call strike number there. Swing the bat. But a 1-4 K rate is definitely intriguing. But this is a Royals team that doesn't strike out that much. That much. You guys want to hear a conspiracy theory? The government, man. You would think. A shout out to mother. There we go. Wait, what is happening? Somebody was my boy Jake was bringing up the Royals home road splits last year. 420 slug as a team, top half in the league, 160 ISO. Eighth in runs, 385 at home. Or did I even split that? I could have sworn I split that. Oh, there it is. And then we go away. And we have to run it though. Yeah. There it is. $350 on the road, and they become, and it's like, it was weird that they were like so much better on the road than at home. So there's like a conspiracy floating around that the Royals are cheating like the Astros. Amen. Dean Creamer though, decent enough, and this is not a high strikeout team. Matter of fact, I still looked at their strikeouts while I was there. Yeah, why not? I already mentioned it. Might as well. Key percentage on the road. Not too bad. 20%. Anyway, I'll have fun with those stats a little bit more tomorrow. But Creamer's like not in a spot to go get a bunch of strikeouts, even though on paper it is a part that's going to suppress some power. Not a like a huge strikeout part in terms of, but I think that's weighed down by the home team not striking out. So sometimes I look to play some Creamer. I don't think I'm doing it here. But What do we do with this game? Lugo on the bump for the Royals. Was not missing bats in his first outing. Not also a big strikeout guy. Ooh, I am encouraged by the 2.98 expected ERA for Creamer. I think I go Substacks on. I don't know. I think the Orioles are always in play for me. I think it's just kind of like I know what I'm getting into when I go at this park. Royals, kind of the same thing. I think I'm just getting into stacks here. And I think both pitchers are fine in real life, but I don't know if they've got the ceiling I want to extrapolate. But I've also said that this slate, I guess Schrellenbach is such an advantage to the rest of the slate. I just don't know how often I'm getting a must-have SP2 contribution from Creamer and Lugo, all things considered. I think that's how I'll go. I'll just go offensive exposure, and I'll kind of stick with that. Tell me you never heard of the Civil War. Never heard of Sherman neckties. March to the Sea. Oh, Jen, how old are you, dog? You gotta be knocking on the door on half a century. You in here talking about the Civil War at 11:30. Now, there's anything wrong with that. But you're not gonna sit here and shame us for not knowing Civil War facts. 52. All right. Well, I appreciate the info, Unk. If you guys appreciate that info, hit that thumbs up. Shout out Pojin, dropping them Civil War facts, them bangers. Stay tuned. He'll tell us the story of Davy Crockett and the Alamo right after this short message. Rays at the Rangers. Zach Little, Tyler Mahle. Rays have a 4.2 run total. Rangers 4.5. I'm sure the Rays are happy to get out of 90-degree temperature and to go to middling temps out there in Texas in the 60s. So this park actually should play a little less hitter friendly than what Steinbrenner Phil was doing in 90 degrees the other day. Mahle on the bump, 27% K rate in 1.2 innings in that first outing, and then it wasn't. Last season at 18% K rate, but the swinging strike rate was good, only 12 innings there. Going into the season prior, 27%. So we're looking to get some length and some non-injuries out of Mahle going forward. But this is a Rays lineup. You know, put him on a row, you might get a 1-5 K rate, you get a 7K pitcher. Not a fun click, and probably one that I'm not going to talk myself into, but just kind of like spitballing out loud. This Rays lineup, not super great in the projected when it comes to WRC plus against righties. And then Zach Attack on the bump, 32% K rate in that first game, 21.5% last season, 156 innings pitched, 11% swinging strike rate. Not a bad real pitcher, and I think these numbers will play on a slate by slate basis. And I could see a scenario where they get, you know, he gets through this game with a solid fantasy output. Corey Seager, Jock Peterson, the two to really worry about. If you look at last year's metrics, a 1.23 home run per 9 against lefties, depressed K rate, a 4.27 xFIP. So he did allow power to both sides, but lefties has a better overall chance of getting into him. And Seager and Jock are kind of the guys I'm looking at for that. I think Seager had the day off yesterday. But yeah, how we rank this out? I don't know, man. Does anybody trust Tyler Mahle more than I do? Just clicked a Mahle. I'm sweating. 4 walks. Only 2 hits there in that Jimmy Jam. 61 pitches. Want to see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting there. I don't know if I can get there. Me and Chronic used to do the NBA breakdowns every night. I don't know if I can get there. Steph Curry's 9,800. I don't know if I can get there. I'm gonna go pitcher first here. Run totals are meager enough, and then I'll go Rays Substack and Rangers Substack. I'm not super enamored with the full piece here. Although the Rangers, you can get the 4 names on the Rangers team and feel better, I think, faster than 4 names on the Rays. So if you fell into 5 or whatever on the Rangers, I guess I'd be less trepidatious. But nothing to love. Atlanta looking like poop after Sherman ran through it, marching on the sea. Come on, God. I don't get it. Brewers hosting the Reds. Nick Martinez taking on Tyler Alexander. Reds have a 4 run total. Dude, the Reds, they kind of hit a skid real fast. Symmetrical skid. These last couple games for the Reds, they lost 1-0. And then the game prior, they lost 1-0. And then the game prior, they lost 1-0. And then the game prior, they won with 14 runs. That's baseball, Susan. Nick Martinez on the bump for the Reds. Going back to the beginning of last year, can expect maybe a 1-5 K rate out of him. The swinging strike rate's probably going to be closer to 9.5-10%. And although he had a 12% barrel in that first game, he hasn't allowed a lot of barrels in the last 2 seasons in terms of percentage of batted ball events. So, again, profiles is a better real life pitcher than maybe a fantasy stud outputter. But 7,100 on DK. Could he give you a chip and a chair at 18, 20 fantasy points? I don't think that's an outlandish range of outcomes. Not somebody I want to get behind early. But if the day went by tomorrow and I got in a pinch and I decided I need a little bit, I would be stunned if I ended up with a little piece of it. And then Carlos Rodriguez. Okay, so I've seen Tyler Alexander, and now I also see Carlos Rodriguez for the Brewers. You guys, DK has Tyler Alexander. Says he's likely to start Friday against the Reds. The Brewers are holding off on announcing a probable pitcher for the game, likely because Alexander may be needed in relief before then. However, Alexander threw a bullpen session Wednesday. So, it doesn't look like he pitched yesterday, yeah? Oh, that's a note from this yesterday. Okay. Well. Let me double check. Yeah, it doesn't look like he pitched. Although, he did pitch in relief against the Yankees. So, what version of Tyler Alexander are we getting in terms of pitch count? 8 through 47. All right, I'm gonna assume between 40 and 50 would be a conservative projection, which kind of just eliminates him from the pool for me right off the rip. And then I'm not super there on Nick Martinez. The Reds, man, I think this is going to be a team that might have immense home road splits eventually, even though they have been getting smacked at home too. But when you get your red stacks, it is kind of concentrated on Ellie De La Cruz and I don't know, Jamer Candelario, Matt McClain. It's a short list, so probably be a sub stack situation. But I can't not be behind a pitcher and then not think about the opposing stack. But I guess in this case, it's a little bit more. I hit the button. I didn't mean to do it that time. I didn't mean to do it that time. My bad. It's more likely that the Reds could be average and the other pitcher doesn't matter because the other pitcher is limited. Brewers against Nick Martinez. Yeah, 2 ranked Chourio. We get Yelich. If we get Yelich back, Wilson Contreras, South Freely. Yeah, I think Brewers make enough sense here. What's the mix here? -118. That's it. All right. All right. Brewer stack, Red Sub stack. That's how I'm reading now, and from the night before. Check my fire. That's my bad, dude. I got other noise. I got a fart noise on here. I think I got a Law and Order beat. Oh, that's my, what the I'd be cursing in the thing. What is this? My Riz cam. And then some of these do like weird voices. Like I think this one gives me auto tune. This one I think makes me a demon. I think this one makes me a minion. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if it's hooked up though. Anyway, I have a weird life. That's all I can say. You guys ever, if anybody just happens to be into Fortnite, I have a Fortnite TikTok account where I'm just an awful. You wouldn't even know it's me, dude. It's crazy. How much was the soundboard? It's not even a soundboard. It's my keyboard. It's my number keys, but it's a program called Voice Mod. So it's a premium thing, but I use it for my other content. So, but sometimes I accidentally click a button like the beep, and then that happens. Anyway, Guardians taking on the Angels. This, I believe, is the last game we need to talk about. So let's plug the website, MLBgrind.com. Tomorrow, many more options than today. Have some fun with it. If you guys want to support the stream, support the site, get a little something in return, go to premium memberships at MLBgrind.com. Get signed up, and then click members portal. There's a link to the spreadsheet, link to the Discord. Get in that Discord. I've been asking everybody, some of you guys have, but anyone who does sign up, if you're not just signing up to, hey, thanks for the streams every day, here's something. If you're looking for like specific support on something, like you grind props, you grind whatever, let me know, man. There's not a lot of people aren't really telling me what they are looking to get out of their sub, and that's, I'm not picking on nobody, but I also feel like, you know, in some areas maybe I can do more, but I don't want to do more if no one uses it. So if you sign up and you're like, hey, I want to play PrizePicks, like, bet, let me see what I can do for you and find some leans there, something like that. I've been playing some PrizePicks a lot because I can't sports bet, and it's been fun. I've been posting some crazy home run mixes. The bigger the slate, the more fun those are. You love fork knife? Yeah. Do you know like Nick A30, Courage JD, Legion? I've done some stuff with those guys, and yeah, I'm telling you, man, you'd be surprised the life I live on the between mashing chairs on my skull and freaking playing children's games. You know what I mean? Gavin Williams taking on Jose Soriano. Brother, I mixed the screen. No, I didn't. Wait, why is the? Oh, I hit the wrong button on the. Dude, the wheels are falling off over here. My second monitor shows the MLB Grind logo, and I thought I accidentally changed my screens. Home run props. All right. Yeah, home run props definitely intriguing. Those are definitely lottery tickets. Like, I encourage everyone, if you're gonna tail some of the home run stuff, hedge it with like fantasy points on PrizePicks or like total basis, stuff like that. The Guardians have a 3.9 run total. The Angels a 3.8. Gavin Williams, 5 innings in his last outing, 10.5% K rate. Going back to last year, 137 whip, 24% K rate. Looks like another decent to below average real life pitcher. Is he in play against this Angels team? Maybe Angels opening day, I believe. Soriano is Thought I heard some knocking or something. 7 innings last for him. I don't think that's an outing. I think that's... He went 7 innings against the White Sox, 73 pitches. Holy. 11 ground balls to 3 fly balls, 5 strikeouts. All right, so fun with White Sox. Dude, what was his BABIP in that game? Holy. A 125 BABIP and 100% left on base. Wow. And a almost 9% walk rate. Yeah, he had a little bit of a horseshoe where the sun don't shine. But the xFIP isn't bad. Sub 3 on that game, so the White Sox are bad. You gotta expect him to be more like a 1-5 K rate guy. Guardians can strike out, and this lineup has 2 guys since the beginning of last year with a positive WRC plus against righties. So I think it's not the craziest thing in the world to grab some Soriano, but he will walk some hitters. You can isolate the lefty splits a little bit more. It looks like it is projected. There's 2 righties, Lane Thomas, Gabriel Arias. So against lefties last year, a sub 20% K rate, 191 average, heavy ground ball stuff. So it just kind of stifles the Guardians as a stack to me. Jose Ramirez, I'm not even going to sub stack. I think you get Jose Ramirez, cool. Steven Kwan, maybe. Other than that, I'm just not there. And then inversely against Gavin Williams, you look at his righty splits last year, almost a 40% hard contact rate, 22% line drive, over a 1 homer per 9, nothing crazy. Yeah, that's Mike Trout. Angels are just hard to love either. The Guardians are actually slight favorites right now. It's kind of surprising. But this game just meh. A lot of yuck and just hope for nothing and that it doesn't go 12 innings and you get that 12th inning double dong by Mike Trout. Otherwise, I think I'm just cherry picking the players, right? You give me Trout, you give me J-Ram. I can understand a shot at Soriano, but I don't want to be there. Need the orange cream. Heck yeah. I didn't get one today. I need to. I've been having some trouble sleeping lately. So I was like, let me maybe not drink Ghost at midnight every night. Maybe. Dude, that orange cream is just the best. It's the best. But I get to a point where I get to like drinking 2 a day. So I gotta like cycle off of it. Otherwise, you know, it's just not gonna work. Played two $1 lineups NBA last night. Got second place. Dude, the NBA has been kind of nuts for scoring lately. All right, so that's every game on the docket today. I'll probably rearrange this. Since today was kind of an off day, I'm gonna spend a lot of time at the desk tomorrow. So if you guys are premium members, feel free to fire away a ton of questions, any research questions that you might have. And I'm going to be looking to add a couple things to the sheet today as well. So if you need me, I'll be in the Discord. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow night, somewhere maybe between 10 and 11 p.m. And hopefully it'll be a celebratory, profitable night for everyone. I appreciate you guys. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you leave a comment, hit that thumbs up. Any engagement with the video is a great way to support the channel as we get back into the eyes of the algorithm. You guys have been awesome. If I had Ghost would have known about Sherman, Jesus H. Yeah, I appreciate that. I hope you guys have a good night, man. Get some rest. We got money to win tomorrow. Gosh darn it. Make sure to check the weather in some spots, especially Colorado, if you're playing the afternoon slate. 4-6, by the way. Red Bull Monster. Jesus H. We're going to be dead in 10 years. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money. What an incredible finishing line that is. Love you guys.